And we're on. Hello, listeners. If you're tuning in, I'd like to welcome you to our podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Troy.
I'm Mario.
And this is, I don't know, that's perfect. This is episode 9. I'd like to welcome you all. We have, shout out to Mark. Shout out
Mark, yeah.
Shout out to Mark. He wanted me to do his segment because he got too drunk to do this podcast today, and he had a lot of plans. I thought he had work.
Wait, what segment?
The shout out.
Oh, we're still okay. We can continue that thing. He was talking. Okay.
No. That's the only thing I'm gonna shout out is to shout out to you, you fucking cunt. Fuck you. Anyways, I would shout out a lot of other things that
Shout out to everybody.
we're only supposed to do him. Thanks for ruining it.
Oh.
I want him to feel super guilty that he can't be here.
I take that back. I'm sorry, y'all. This is Mark's fault.
Nah, there's a lot of stuff. Hopefully, y'all watched the last podcast, and we have more news coming up about some stuff that's going to be happening next month. We have more guests. We do have a guest here today. I'm so glad he came because he lives in Mexico, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the only chance that we can get an open opportunity for him to be here. And
He does only speak Spanish, so we will be putting subtitles and changing over into Spanish.
Yeah. Mario literally just got here. We're recording a little bit more later. So
I had to work, so I just got home from a 12-hour shift. I don't wear sunglasses so y'all can see my bags underneath my eyes today.
Yeah, Mario has been working his ass off. I haven't seen him take a day off. And shout out to you. That's the only shout out I'm going to give out.
I'm trying to get on Mark's level. He can afford to take days off on Sundays.
Yeah. But honestly, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guest. Live from the 78745, Keith Corona.
Don't get too cramped.
If you want, we can move the table just a little bit over there. How you coming out? If you want, you could just squeeze the little... Squeeze the little...
Squeeze what?
You need to make the thing...
Hit the mic, too.
All right, so we have Keith Corona, 78745, from the 78745. Tell us who you are.
My name is Keith Corona. I'm a recording artist from Austin, Texas, South Austin, Texas, that is, to be exact. Obviously, the 78745 area. A Mexican-American kid who was raised in the United States, but was always taken back to Mexico as a child as well, so... If you want to start there.
Let's start there. So you're from the 4... I mean, this is the 4-4 and the 4-5's on the other side of 35.
Yes, we are in the fofo, in the dough.
You know, it's just it's like a brother type of like you have the...
They're like twins?
Yeah.
Would you call them twins?
Not really. Not really, man.
They're
When we was
across
a kid,
from each other.
We had hell coming over here to parties to freestyle and battle people here in Fofo. Like, it was hell. I had a friend who got me in a bunch of shit at parties because he would go up to everybody freestyling to them. He knew he had me with them and he would freestyle to them.
Yeah.
And get into some shit. And because people in Dub didn't play like that. Like, they really wanted to fight you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we ended up having to get into some shit a couple of times. So
But you're OG at this point. You're one of the OG natives that came from. It's been in the scene since it basically started, right?
yeah.
I would assume so.
Kinda. Not since it started, but I was around when some of the pioneers that people consider.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
It was kind of like weird whenever I first met you because I think the first time I met you was the day that we went to the Greenbelt, and coming from that, like I didn't even know what the fuck the Greenbelt was.
You remember when we with the JD and we ran up the
I
hill of
kind
life?
of remember, but I
you-
don't remember you coming along.
Because you put us on to the hill of life.
Yeah, the Hill of Life. It was the Hill of Life, and Certified was there, and we went down that hill. And Future just came out with this. We had an episode.
Oh yeah.
So we had an
I remember
episode
that part.
with Certified, and it was like, if I'm gonna come up this hill, I'm gonna be jamming Future. And I was like, all right, I don't know who any of y'all are. I don't even know what the fuck a Greenbelt is. I didn't even know Austin had it, but right off the bat, I didn't think that y'all, knew Austin that well, just being just the way y'all looked, and we were all like trash and like looking stupid. And whenever I went down the hill of life, I was like, "Oh shit, this is what everybody's talking about."
That comes from being a kid and like wanting to always be in creeks and shit like that. Like I don't know why I always wanted to be in like in the woods or something, and maybe it comes from my background in Mexico too. But I don't know. I love the green belt. It was always.
It's just also one of the things of the South that certified taught me too, that if you look at the South Austin versus North Austin South, it has a lot of like nature, like a lot more trees and creeks, as he says. So
I honestly would consider you an Austinite. Or do you consider yourself an Austinite?
I was actually born in Houston, if you want to know the real deal.
You were born in
Houston, Texas, but I've been here since like 3 years old. I was only in Houston for probably not even a year, and then I was taken to Mexico, and I was kept in Mexico for like a year or two. And when I turned 3, right before I went into school, like I could start pre-K, they brought me back over here, and I've been in Austin since 3 years old. Yeah, I mean shit, I've been Austin's all I've known my whole life.
Hey, let's shut up our fucking phones.
God.
No, but we're gonna go into our first subject.
What's our first subject?
Our first subject is hey, can we get the bottle? We didn't have the bottle in here. Sorry about that. Yeah, so our first subject is what are we drinking from the podcast, and we're gonna start with you. What you have, you know?
I drink caguamas, man.
Can we have?
Whip it up.
Yeah, you actually know.
I drink a caguama.
Let's pull
In
this one out.
Mexico, we call them Kawasaki's.
Kawasaki.
I thought the Kuama was the 40 ounce.
See, people be like, yeah, caguama. If you're real Mexican, they call them a Kawasaki.
What are these 32 ounces, right?
Yeah.
Because I think in Mexico, I had one of my exes.
Do you want me to pop it open, or are you all right if I pop it open like this?
Yeah. I was going to use my mouth, but I'll use the... Thank you. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, use his teeth.
Yeah, so we're all, as you can see, drinking caguamas today.
You're drinking Kuama. We do have the Smirnoff shot. I don't want to blame anybody here, but we did have this thing where we were supposed to buy tequila, and I was there. I should have bought it.
That was mine. I've been...
Yeah, okay. See, I didn't know. If you wanted my real answer the first time, I drink Centenario.
Yeah.
I drink tequila. I
That
don't
was
even
the
like
plan,
beer that
but
much, but if I
week,
drink a
week
caguama.
2 in a row that this is my fault that we do not make it in time to the liquor store.
But it doesn't mean that we're not still going to take shots. Me and Mario are still going to take shots. I'm super sorry we couldn't get you tequila. This is, I mean, it's like I said, it's a work in progress. We are shit podcast, and hopefully y'all are still listening to us. But going into that, I honestly want to go more into what you do. You're a rapper for Mets. Like I've heard you rap.
I would like to point out that he's a rapper in both Spanish and English, which is pretty rare at this point. And well, I guess not at this point, but I'm pretty sure coming up.
Yeah, I did like 2 projects in English, all English. The Established album, and then I did Live from 78745 album. And then we had already done like a bilingual song on Live from 78745, and a lot of people started suggesting the Spanish stuff. But I didn't want to do it at first because like I wanted traditional sounds in there. That's why that's why I still haven't dropped it, because I was real like hard on the fact that I wanted like traditional sounds to be in there. And I had 3 American two American producers and a European producer. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't ask them to come up with those sounds like that. They didn't know how to play that kind of sounds. All they knew how to grab is like guitars, like Spanish guitar samples. You know what I'm saying? But they started sounding repetitive, so I was like, damn. That's why it took a while. But after a while, I just said, fuck it.
Yeah. After we did that and we met you, I started like a small studio, and you came over, and it was surprising that you actually did rap in Spanish.
Yeah.
And I still have the file. And one of my roommates was like, "Bro, this shit's fucking lit. Like, this shit's good. Like, can I have a copy?" I was like, "Yeah, I still don't know what he's saying, but I love the rhythm."
So it's like, okay, so this is the dope part I like to explain to people. Like, okay, so with English, I had to start sharpening my skills because I sucked at first, right? And you got to work your way up to getting good, and then you go through that
Practice.
time, and then you get good, and then you even start getting better. You know what I'm saying? You got to go through all that shit,
We talking about practice.
and you're learning vocabulary, right? And then it was crazy because I was already good, and then I was given like a whole brand new language to fuck with, and I already knew the language. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, it got fun again. Like, it got fun again to rhyme, to try to rhyme these words and, you know what I'm saying, to try to put it together. So,
it's like getting the correct shoes for the correct sport.
mm-hmm.
Some brand new ones. That's dope.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I really think it's something that it's right now is missing a lot in Austin. Like a big scene for the Hispanic, Latino, call it what you would call it, you know, because there is a lot of artists that are the Spanish influence and whatnot. You know?
It's kind of weird that, like, I mean, through Austin, I would say that's true, but in mainstream, Latino rap, I guess trap rap, you know, it's so big now and it's coming up. Like, how do you feel from it being trap, from it being, you know, traditional? Because the way I see you rap, whenever you came,
trap.
It's trap, but it's more
Lyrical.
But I mean, whenever you have these auto tunes, Bad Bunny and I knew on AA.
Well, I can play you a couple of tracks that we did that sound like some trap shit because they're the trap drums, but they sound lyrical as fuck because we did like some slaughterhouse shit too, kinda. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew these cats had sharp skills and we're like, he's heard one of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically how we did it. Like, they got trap drums, they're fast and whatever, or even the slow shit. You know what I'm saying? But we're still rapping like with skill over it. You know what I'm saying?
Like so like what you're talking about, what exactly is what all do you guys have going on? And this is in Mexico, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I went down there a couple of years back, right, in 2017, and I had been told about a couple of cats that were rapping in the town where I'm from, and
And where's that?
Coto del Porvenir, Michoacán. You know what I'm saying? We're like 20 minutes outside of the capital city of Morelia, and they had already told me about these cats, and I had seen this one cat going around with an NWA shirt in town. And I was like, what the fuck does he know about NWA? And I was like, and so then they told me about this dude, and I was like, oh, that's him, because he used to go to the tortilleria for tortillas, you know what I'm saying, when I worked there. And I put it together. I was like, okay, so that's him. And then a couple other cats from around the area as well, from other towns, that are like 10 minutes apart from our towns, you know what I'm saying, also rap. I learned they had a little group of like about 5 of them. And about 3 to 4 of them were really fucking dope, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, damn, man, these kids got talent, but they were just ripping shit off of YouTube, like ripping beats off of YouTube, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, these dudes need some fucking production. I had a shitload of beats just left over. Because Boz used to give me like 3-4 beats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All at once. Or Everett would send me like 2-3 beats all at a time. And so there were a few in my email that I hadn't used. So I just downloaded a couple, put them on it this time. I went into their house and I got, because the last time that I went, I didn't do that. I wasn't proactive about it. I didn't want to do a group no more. I hated working with groups. Yeah. Like, I was like, fuck that. I don't want to sit there and try to run everybody. But I knew that I had to organize them because I could see they weren't getting organized. So I had to organize them. And so this time I went down there with beats already, original production, and it sounded more like the shit that's up to date on like today's music a little bit.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah, these beats are dope. So they started writing to them. There was a 15-year-old kid in town that was rapping. He really has the first video in town. I claim that I got it because it's a professional video, but even though it was with his phone, technically there was this kid that's 15 years old that's got the first video, and he was 15, and I heard his shit, and I was like, man, this kid is 15 years old, and he's talking so profoundly about his life already. Yeah. Like, he knew how to tap into himself. Like, he listened to a lot of Cancerbero.
He knows
you know
how it
what
works.
I'm saying? So, like, he wasn't talking about, like, bullshit, and I was like, man, I liked him. He approached me one day. He wanted to talk about getting his music online and getting paid for it. I started telling him. He took interest. He started knocking on my door he found out he lived like 4 houses down from me. He started coming over and knocking on my door every day. He wanted to learn how to rap, He already knew how to rap. He just didn't know how to make songs and structure them. So I started coaching him. At first, I was going to give him the songs for his album. And then when we went and we recorded them, he got in some trouble. They took him from the town and they took him to Mexico, and I was like, man, well, I'm gonna put these songs on a project, and then I'm gonna put these other cats on.
But why would they take him? Is it like some like?
I tried to skip over that part.
Oh,
yo. I tried so hard to skip over that part.
You know,
I know.
I'm not gonna say that.
I was getting him high, man. I'm gonna be 100 with you. He's 15 years old. I was getting him high every time he came over to write. You know what I'm saying? He would go straight home and fall asleep.
They Earl
I'm sorry.
Earl sweatshirt him. They Earl sweatshirt
I
him.
honestly had to ask that because like I want to know
like that.
everything about this story.
It's like
it's interesting.
He was Tyler the Creator, and that kid was Earl sweatshirt. He got sent away.
They took him away to Mexico City.
That's crazy.
She even told me over the phone. His mom told me. She said, you know, you're giving a 15-year-old kid weed, right?
And that's super frowned upon in the culture.
Is it?
As for Mexicans, it is.
I mean, I feel like Mexican kids can buy beer, but they can't smoke weed.
Well, Harry,
man,
okay,
my mama,
beer.
because my mama. Okay, you got to think about it. It's the stereotypical thoughts of it. Cartel trafficking is so bad in Mexico, and what's one of the number one things that they used to traffic was weed. You know what I'm saying? So your Mexican parent, your average Mexican parent thinks that shit's like the worst shit. They don't give a fuck. They think it's just as bad
That's
as
the
crack.
root of it all.
You know what I'm saying?
We are gonna go so into this Mexico culture.
Yeah, we're doing 5 hours.
Whenever we were talking outside, I was shaving my beard. By the way, I got my porn stash out right now. If y'all looking right now,
Is that Playboy Troy?
no, it's Papi Chulo.
Okay.
No, we were talking outside, and he was telling us about, or telling me about, like these kids walk with speakers, and he wanted to know what was up with it. And I was just like, "What do you mean? Like I got speakers in my house?" It's like, no, like in America, you know, like if you have a song,
US.
you sure, all right, all right. In the U.S., like you have people that don't blast music. Like if you're walking on the street, you're gonna see AirPods or headphones or something. But in Mexico, they have these little small speakers, and they walk around just jamming the fuck out of the
Have
music.
you seen those videos on Twitter where like the ladies like sitting asleep, drunk, laying down with the speaker, just crying, and they put every song to it. We would put our themes onto it.
But like I want to go into this because this is I don't like if I was to go to because I go to I work for FedEx and I go everywhere in Southwest and West Austin. If I were to see someone jamming like music
Speakers.
loud as fuck, I'd be like, what are you trying? I was like, what are you trying to prove? Like, are you?
I don't know why that's a thing in our culture. It's a thing. I can't lie, man. Like we want everybody to fucking hear what we're jamming.
It's like when you're driving around in a car and you just blast your shit with the windows down. You know, like
The thing about it is a car is
jam.
different, but when you're walking, especially in public.
Well, I think at that point it's like not much
Mexico,
of a choice,
Mexico
right?
is a totally different place, though. The place I'm talking to you about are like small towns, and in small towns, it's a lot more community. There's a lot more community than there is like in the city. In the city, it's you go walk outside right now, you hardly see anybody outside. Right now, in Mexico, you walk outside, everybody's outside chilling. Because it's already the afternoon, everybody's already done. Everybody's outside chilling, talking, conversating, and stuff like that. So everybody chills like little bunches. You know what I'm saying? Like you still see people out in bunches on the street corner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people are out there jamming and shit with their little speaker and shit. And they just, I don't know. Everybody just.
And also, you were saying that we're listening to rap. Is it the new rap like no, like I was saying, like Bad Bunny and Anu?
Well, there's
or is it like from their town?
Connotation that in Mexico area there's a delay in the time, not as far as time, but like with the times, like with the culture, like when it's here in 5 years, it's gonna be in Mexico or it's shit like that. You know, how true is that?
Yes, you hear. Okay, that's a lie now. The internet's around. You know what I'm saying? So they see everything. It used to be like that, like as far as fashion and stuff like that. There used to be a delay because there wasn't the internet, so they did catch on to like translate and stuff like that. And then even still here, America sets the pace for fashion and stuff like that for like the newest technology that comes out. You know what I'm saying? But and there's places like in the city where it's still the same. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know small town Mexico. I don't know the city in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? I know the city
really
here.
different from each other.
Yeah, it's real different to me. So, I mean, what were you saying, Troy, about?
No, so what I was saying is just like, are you talking about like the speakers, like in here? Like
Okay. So what I was telling Troy was easy to cherry pick people that listen to rap in Mexico because
Okay.
people,
It was
kids
obvious.
walk around with their little speaker jamming to everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, damn. And then when I was telling them, I went down there in 2006. People still listen to kind of like banda and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And now you go down there right now, and it's like there's a mesh of rap with the corridos right now. You know what I'm saying?
That
I
is
saw
kind
that, I
of
saw that, I
that
saw
is yeah. That's what I was gonna go into.
Yeah, so there's like a mesh between rap and the corridos right now. Like people like Burner or making songs with Tercer Elemento, you know what
Yeah,
I'm
I saw
saying?
that.
Like talking about weed, about the weed culture and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And Tercer Elemento's making corridos that just sound like a regular corrido, but they're talking about smoking weed
And
and
it's
being
all
real,
big
being
to
potheads and shit.
That what I've seen when I was there. It influences like a lot of slower runs and just like
Yeah.
the melodies and the flow is way slower because they're
Yeah,
kind of going with the like a rapping style.
yeah.
Hey, me and him are gonna take our first shot. If you want to take your chug, we're going into our 20-minute mark.
For
And
20 minutes.
but
chug.
yeah, honestly, just keep on going. I'm gonna pour it. Don't worry.
Already.
So yeah, I see how it's like now starting to become the same way that rap is huge over here. It's starting to become an influence over there. And the
Yeah, it's
music's,
it's getting real big, man. Like, no, they weren't okay. Y'all were asking if who they were jamming when I was down there. They were jamming a dude named Secan that's from down there. They were jamming Santa Grifa that's from down there. They were jamming, of course, Cartel de Santa. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And yes, they jam Bad Bunny every now and then. Reggaeton
Like
gets listened
parties
to
and
by a
stuff like
lot
that.
of women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
By like dudes who like being fly and having a lot of women jam
Yeah.
reggaeton and stuff like that. But yeah, man, they're jammed. They're the Santa Grifa, Secan, and Cartel de Santa are the three artists from Mexico that I hear them jamming like a motherfucker down there.
We're gonna have to put a little name
Oh.
or something for that because I've never heard of it. But here, cheers to y'all. Cheers to Keith Corona for being.
Oh yeah, appreciate it, man. Cheers to y'all and y'all's podcast, man. Straight up.
So like as far as outside of rap, do you go into other genres out there? Like for like the biggest one that I know that's not rap is Molotov.
Wait, what is that? Wait, what the fuck is that? What is that a genre?
Are you
I jam
familiar with
Molotov.
No, I'm asking like, is there other genres that you get into? Is it just strictly still rap to you? Because if I am a big fan of Molotov, which is punk, but they're from Mexico.
Are we considering Spanish music or is that just the obvious?
No, I mean they're Spanish only.
I listen to Calibre 50 a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I like there's like corridos that talk about real life still. Like
Yeah.
if you listen to like a lot of Los Tigres del Norte songs,
Mhm.
their corridos were like talking about real life. Like that's the stuff I still talk about.
Did you like
Still listen
their new the rendition of Johnny Cash's?
Oh, you're talking about Los
Tigres.
Yeah, Los Tigres. Wait,
Yeah.
Los Tigres del Norte?
Yes.
Yeah. Holy shit! I didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. I thought you were talking about a genre. I was like,
No, I jammed the Spanish. No, I was telling him I jammed Spanish. He was asking me what kind of other music I listen
But
to.
other
I
genres in
listen to
Spanish. I
music.
mean, like I was saying, Molotov is a punk band, but they're
Nah, I
Mexican.
don't, man. I like in I'll be 100 with you. In English music, I do rap, a little bit of R&B, and that's about it. And some George Strait. And that's it.
Bro, we were jamming George Strait when we were cleaning the fucking floors. I swear to God,
That's it.
swear to
And
God.
Strictly George Strait. Nobody else in country. That's it.
I like that. I like that, honestly.
and then in Spanish, I just do like, of course, I do all the traditional like
Yeah,
like music.
corridos.
bandas, corridos, gruperas. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much down. There's so many genres down there in Mexico that I listen to a little bit of rap, but nah, I don't. I've never really gotten into rock and stuff like that, man.
I always found it interesting because like it's cool to see it like kind of translate into other languages back and forth and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You
There
know?
No,
was-
you go to places like
No, you can go.
you go to places like Mexico City. You go to places like Monterrey. You find a lot of that culture there. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of punk rock, a lot of rock and roll fans.
A lot
you
of
know what I'm
techno's
saying? Like
popular
Is that
too out
is
there.
that Mano?
pop rock, like
Mano?
Mana. You talking about
Mana.
Yeah, they're like, what is it like? Alternative rock. They're like the Spanish version of Red Hot Chili Peppers, I guess.
No, there was this so there was this
And we're
band-
showing our age because the people who are watching this and they really know in Mexico about the scene, they're really like, damn, y'all name some old ass people. Y'all couldn't name no new.
Eventually, we'll get subtitles so we can put this in Spanish subtitles for the people because I mean you're going to. I hopefully
Once we start making a
if-
living and I don't have to work 12-hour shifts and I could just do this on Sundays and be
If you were to
off the
show
rest
this
of the
back
week.
to Mexico and like give us.
Oh yeah,
give
have it in
Met-
Spanish.
Yeah, have it in
We're
Spanish.
gonna have a bootleg copy sent out there, and there's gonna be somebody else's voices in Spanish.
It's gonna be.
You're gonna find it in the tanguis right there, like, oh, good, IDK, that's
Right.
perfect.
I totally forgot it. No, so there was this. So in high school, there was this band called Los Infuentes de Norte, or it's
Los Inquietos.
Los Inquietos, and it was supposed to be like this rock star band where they talk
They just talked about drugs and
drugs and getting drunk, and I was just like,
They
so.
don't. The shit they got the the general public's.
But
fucking-
but like that the way I saw them, they're rock stars, so they play like.
Yeah.
So-
Los Inquietos gets played a lot down there, man. They got the general public's fucking attention down there.
There was one where just like whenever you go to hell, whenever you go to hell, like there's the devil who's sending you shots or something, and it's like, wow, this is some fucking like, shit, like some screamo shit. Like, hell yeah,
They're
I'll
called-
fucking you.
They're called desmadrosas. They're like
those were like seeing kids and like shit like that.
they're just like music not giving a fuck. Kind of
Yeah.
like some 3-6 shit we used to listen to when you listen to like. I bet you won't hit a motherfucker. Hit a motherfucker. Bitch. Push
No,
a motherfucker. Push a motherfucker.
The only reason why I brought that up because you're like, you don't listen to rock. I thought that was the rock.
oh, the rock to them.
Yeah, you get people in the concert shooting fucking guns up.
I think rap is still considered this would that be considered like where they kind of frown upon it because it's rebellious and
Still a little bit, man. Like, look, I'll give you an example. They wanted me in my small town. They wanted me to run the show. They wanted me to put my name on the line and be the one that's doing the event and all that.
yeah.
I said, hell no. I said, man, we're still in a small town in the middle of Mexico. I was like, I don't give a damn how many kids are jamming rap. Their parents still don't give a shit about that.
Yeah.
I was like, their parents gonna look at me like, this motherfucker is the one that's making my kids smoke weed. So I was like, nah, I'm good.
You're gonna be there, Eminem.
I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm all right on that. I'm straight on that. They were like, this little motherfucker from El Norte is coming out here to Mexico.
He is el diablo. God. That's funny.
Good
as
on
fuck.
that.
If I could switch it
But
up.
yeah, they do. They do frown upon it still.
If I could switch it up. So
Switch it up.
like this is Keith Corona. I met him like what 3 or 4 years ago, and he said
know.
that I don't remember. I don't remember when I met started fighting him, but I do remember like him coming here, and then you told me like, oh yeah, he's going to Mexico to do some work over there, and now you're here. Why'd you come back to
So I come back and I do stage working for ACL.
ACO? You know what
Proceed.
sucks about ACO?
What?
We had to deliver 180 fucking packages of shirts. Literally a whole truck full of fucking shirts. Just shirts.
Did you get any?
No. They were all in the FedEx. I was like 2100 Barn Springs Drive. I was like, that's fucking ACL. And they're all like, hey, 180 packages are going over there. And it's like, what's it filled? Shirts. I was like, oh my fucking God.
What are they like? Merchandise?
Yeah, it's
Shirts.
merch.
Oh.
But like they were all like, "Hey, can you run?" I was like, "I'm not gonna run a fucking truck with 180 pounds worth of, or not pounds, but because like the last time I ran a bunch of Yetis, and my truck just literally a budget truck literally almost touched the ground,
God.
and like every fucking like bump, you can hear the fucking truck scratching against the tires, and there's like 180 is like, bro, that was 110 boxes of Yetis, 180 worth of shirts. Those are pretty heavy shirts.
Yeah, ACL is crazy season, man. I come back and we do stage work for PGP, and we build the stages there.
Yeah.
We build about like 7 or 8 stages out there, and depending on what the plan is, and then we go through and we do the production. That's what we start tomorrow. We roll through. We do the production. We do the lights and the
Wait, so
sound and everything.
ACL's in next week, right?
This weekend
Yeah.
coming up.
Starts next weekend.
Yeah. There was a story. It was my birthday, and Mario was like, "Hey, you trying to go to ACL?" I was like, "There's no way we can get in." And I was like, "Well, I'm still gonna try to get in." Did you get in?
Yeah.
How'd you get in?
I don't want to get anybody in trouble or say anything, but yeah,
All
I'm
right,
not gonna go beyond that.
we're not gonna go beyond that,
But
but
I
it
found
was.
a way in, basically.
Nah, yeah, but no. I don't give a damn. I say it. We got him in. Shit.
Thank you.
And we were out. Once we were out in the middle of the field, I looked at Mario. I said, Mario, how many securities fucked with you?
No, none. I literally just walked in like nothing.
I still remember that day. He was just like, "Hey, you trying to get into ACL? We're trying to get in." I was like, "Who's gonna get us in?" I'm not gonna say.
Now do you trust me about being able to get into shows? That was not the first time.
So yeah, there was J. Cole this year, or no, it was
Like
last year.
3 years ago.
It was last year.
No, the Frank Urban one.
No, the one we went to. We were. Was it the finger one?
Yeah, that was like 2 years ago. When we got front row.
Yeah, honestly, it was the finger end.
Yeah, that was like 2
Yeah, it was
years
Frank.
ago.
It was Frank Aaron. No, Mario was just like, "Hey, we have a picture of a ticket." He's like, "You trying to go up in the front?" He's like, "Yeah." And we
There
were
was
there.
no seats available, but we were like up, like literally in front of the stage.
I don't know how Mario gets this shit, but he does
I
it.
love
Like,
concerts. Like, well, there's a will, there's a way.
like I remember, I was sitting courtside. I was fucking like I could touch J. Cole. Well, other than the stage, but yeah. I still remember that day when he posted shit that he was at ACL and he got there and I was like, bro, how the fuck did you get it? Did you carry a ladder? Someone was telling me if you carry a ladder, anywhere, like you can get in anywhere.
Nah, I just told him just to dress low key. I was like, man, just don't dress like you kind of coming to work.
It was to go see Kendrick Lamar, so it was one of my favorite shows ever, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, man, it's crazy how just one way that you walk makes all the difference, right?
Yeah.
Because not
we didn't even deal
one
with crowds or
damn
nothing
person
like-
looked at you. Not once were you asked for a credential. Not
Nothing.
once were you asked to show anything, right?
You wanna know how much I'm gonna go like if I was to sneak in, I would bring a FedEx truck and be like, I'm delivering and like just park my truck somewhere and like get one package, deliver it, and just like my tire broke and like switch my shirt and go in.
But that's not even.
You see how crazy of an imagination he has to have just to try to think he would get
When I
in?
could just
And
walk in.
imagine how easy, and when you compare it to how easy
Yeah.
he got you in, it's all the difference.
It's
Just
overthinking.
the way you walk.
It's overthinking that gets
Austin
you
City
killed.
Limits, we're not gonna post this up until until it's done.
Yeah, until we are able to get in again or not. So you're not in. But that's not the first time Keats looked out for me as far as shows and stuff like that. There was one time years ago where I didn't even know what was going on, but I was like super bummed out or something, and he just hits me up out of nowhere like he knew I was bummed out, so he's like, quit fucking being all sad and shit. Come with me. We're going to so and so, and I didn't know at the time where we're going.
And I didn't even know you at that time like that.
Yeah, we were just like I think we had just started like hanging out or meeting or recording and stuff like that at MediaTek, and he brought me out. He took me to fucking it was Freddie Gibbs' show, and we ended up being
I actually remember that.
we ended up being fucking in the VIP section in the back with like literally he was introducing me to everybody. That you could know in Austin, it was awesome. It was
Yeah, it was
one
like
of the
all
best
the hip
nights.
hop. It was like at one of the best times of Austin hip hop.
Yes,
And
The League
like,
was there.
Everybody was
like
there.
I could name a whole list of all like the crucial people you could have known at the time that would like be beneficial.
Is that
like,
when you
career.
met Drake's what's his name? The dude that produced Drake's Take Care album, or one of
Oh, you're talking about I can't think of his name,
Eric
but
Dingus.
No.
Eric Dingus.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't think he was there, no, because I met him during South by once. But no,
I don't remember him being
he's
there,
low.
but-
He's low key too.
I also don't not remember him being there, so I don't remember.
They had a whole fucking ice chest full of Jameson. I'm like that. Then I was fucked up, dude. Like
You wandered off, so I don't
yeah,
know. I
like-
don't know what all you did. You had your own little adventure within the.
yeah, it was definitely fun. Like JD was there too, certified. Like man, it was just fun.
All I can remember was Mario was having a damn ball that
Like,
night.
it definitely
and I
changed
was
my
glad
whole
I told
mood,
that
man.
motherfucker to come out.
Yeah, it's weird when he gets drunk because like you have to take care of him, but when he gets really, really drunk, he gets lost.
Yeah.
Then you have to find him.
That was old me. That was old me. I've matured since then, and I'm older. And
So we parted ways that night. Did you get home all right that night?
I did. I forget how, but I did. But it was like shit like that. That like a lot of people, like I said, like a lot of people that we have come on here. It's not just because like we're like working or not stuff like that. It's like a lot of people that come on here like are actually good friends and people that I've just met through the city, and there's a lot of good people in the city like that will look out for you. Or
I'm
just,
not gonna lie, he knows a lot of people. I literally like whenever I meet someone that he knows, like when I
like,
met you, I was
when I started talking about the podcast, a lot of people, like everybody was straight with me, like 4 wheels to the ground down with me.
But he
about
knew
doing
the
it.
right people. That was the thing. We
Yeah.
knew, there was in Austin hip hop. If you knew about 5 people that were key people in this motherfucker at a certain point,
That's all you need.
that's all you needed, and you knew everybody. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm definitely grateful to be able to not only that, not even to think of y'all and all these friends about like as ways to take a go up higher, but to actually be able to say like, that's my friend, like, and other people think I was like, oh, that person's like important. Like, no, that's just
Who
my
the hell
friend.
are we? We're just regular people, man.
Hey, we're all out just regular
We're
people.
still
bro.
trying to make it to. You know what I'm saying?
That's the beauty of it. We all want it that bad, you know.
Yeah, no, there's no difference between y'all's podcast that y'all throw out there and our music that we throw out there, man.
And then another thing I love about Keith is he is a very hard person to please when it comes to music. I always he'll
Man,
tell
I was
you.
hoping he
I
would have bring
always-
this up. I was
always-
hoping he
I
would have
always
bring this
hit him
up.
like,
on this
if you
podcast.
know me, you know I'll try to put everybody on music, but he is one that is hard to.
Can I tell a story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So like, so that I was telling about a song that he came over and he recorded. And by the way, you are phenomenal. Like you honestly told me it was like it like can you do the ad libs? I was like, what the fuck's an ad lib? I don't know. I barely like bought all this shit. And you're all like, I felt so embarrassed because I was like, I didn't know what an ad lib or like like an ad lib or whatever it was. And you're like, just make another track, and I was like, well, give me a minute. I don't know how to do this. I felt so intimidated by you because you honestly like knew what you wanted. You made it sound so good. It's not like other artists were just like, it sounds good, and I'm listening. And I was like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It sounds horrible. You were just like, all right, I want this. I want this. I want this. And I think there was one part where I didn't have a file in, and you're like, so what happened to the file? And I was just like, I don't know. And you're just like, this guy, he doesn't know what he's doing. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm sorry. I feel really intimidated. And now that I've gotten so far, like recording people like in shitty rooms, I would never forget. You were the number one person that when we recorded, I felt so intimidated because you were just like, I want this, I want this.
You knew what you wanted.
And you would be like, hey, I want to do a line. Like I'm gonna do a line, and then I'm not gonna do a line. I'm gonna do I forgot.
What are you talking about? Like a line?
No, he'd be like
bar?
Yeah, bar.
Like 2
He'd do-
bars,
yeah.
and then I would do like another 4 bars or something.
And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I like, and I stopped it. I feel like I stopped it at one point. And you were like, what are you doing? I was like, well, you stopped. You didn't do the next bar. It's like, no. That's
He had
not
his
it.
own way, the way he records, and to you it was new. So like it was just like he knew how to work.
I felt like you
studio.
were gonna be like, get off the fucking thing.
All
I
right.
recorded myself.
So I'm gonna answer 2 questions, both of y'all's questions at the same time. First, with you, no, I'm a hater, bro. I don't like nothing. I don't send me nothing. Don't try to put me on no new
unless
music.
it's Residente
Don't,
or Luke
don't
Fiasco.
try to put me on any new music. I hate everything. I'm a hater. Just leave me the fuck alone. All right. I jam what I jam, and that's it. All right. So second, recording. I remember one time I wrote down a list of shit we would talk about on the podcast, and fucking with engineers was one of the first things. And I had labeled it, everybody wants to be Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
But it was good that you're humble enough to admit that you didn't know shit at that time, bro. Because like every time you record with somebody new, it's crazy as an artist to go through it. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wants to think they're Dr. Dre. They seen these Dr. Dre documentaries where he tells Snoop and tells 50 and tells them all how to rap their lines and shit like that, and they all want to do that shit too.
They want to be producers.
They
and
all
shit.
want to be like, hey man, give it a little more energy. It's a fucking sad song, bro. I want to be in the fucking. I want to talk in my normal tone. This is the way I wrote it. No man, give me a little more energy. I'm like, dude, chill the fuck out, bro. But yeah, I've always known exactly how my songs, before it even hits the paper, I know exactly how I want my song to sound. You know what I'm saying? So I go in there and I work like that.
Yeah,
And
it was super like, oh shit, like, what? So he's done? Like, no, I want to do it like a dibs or what's it called? Dubs.
Dubs,
I want to
yeah,
do dubs.
dubs.
And
Dubs.
I was like, what the fuck's a dub? He's like, he's gonna rap over himself. I was
to
like,
double, to
I
double
was
what
like-
you're doing.
all right. So I pressed it and like I recorded over your original. I was like, oh shit. I was like, hey, this is Control Z. I was like, hey, we're gonna do this again. No, it was really like really good for me to know that what someone would want it because I didn't know I didn't even know how to use a program. I think I was like 2 months into it, and yeah, that was the most.
Nah, yeah,
intimidating.
man. What's crazy too is when I think about my story, bro. Like, I was taught a lot of things, right? A lot of shit in life that I didn't know I had to be taught. But rapping was one fucking thing nobody taught me, bro. Not one person taught me how to rap. I used to write poetry, and I used to see the way poetry was written, and they would just leave like the word that rhymed at the end, and then start a new sentence.
Yeah.
And that's the way I started writing all my rhymes. So when I would just write as long as ESG was rapping.
Damn.
As long as ESG was rapping, that's how long I was rapping. And when it would constantly end up being 16 lines, and I would read it like that, that's how I knew what a 16 was. That's what I knew when they started talking 16
That's funny
bars.
you say that because like
Actually, wait. We're gonna go into our second shot or in your chug.
Second shot. I didn't even chug the
come up
first
with
time.
a new name.
Damn it.
Chug twice.
Honestly, I'll keep. Oh, well,
But I was not yet, but like yeah, that works too.
Well, I had to get a jump on the first one. Shit.
All right, that was the first one that he's all caught up. What I was saying is like it's funny you say that because a lot of people probably at this point already do not, or it's already been so far behind that I used to rap myself since like middle school and even years ago. And
We don't all know this, Mario. Tell us about your rap career, buddy.
I'm an aspiring artist. I'm out of dub. I'm fofo. No, but like when I was a kid and then the first time I started wanting to be a rapper, shout out to all rappers
oh,
Shout out to our rappers.
in Mexico or in Austin. But what I was going off of what he said, I'm gonna throw up like Mark. That's literally the same way like happened with me. Like I wanted to rap. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And what I used as something to influence me and use as a reference was all of Little Flip's songs. Like I would take his songs, I would rewrite them.
Little
but then
Flip is really underrated.
It was. But I would take his lyrics and I would literally leave each word at the end of the bar and then just change it up. Each like the first anything that he had, I would change it up and then leave it at the same word at the end.
Yeah.
And then eventually I would just keep changing it up to the point where I kind of got it in my head how exactly a whole 16 bar verse goes, or just one bar in general, or just how to keep it in, you know, because it does take a lot to like just be able to rap. I had a teacher. Him or Mac from Media Tech.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He told us one day that to this day bothers me. He said that rap is not it's not a genre because it's like there's nothing to it like compared to instruments. To this day, I regret arguing with him, but it was like basically like there is an art to rapping. There is a fucking art, like down to the way you write it to how you spit it and perform it.
Okay, now I got to a point also where I wanted my songs to be like movies. Like, if you go back, oh man, it's so hard to explain this kind of shit. But okay, like I got to a point where I started changing shit. I can write for R&B singers. You know what I'm saying? Like I wrote for R&B singers that were already great R&B singers. But when I presented them my ideas, they'll be like, damn, what the fuck? You're doing something a little different, you know what I'm saying? Like, than most people normally know. It's not nothing different than what's not already been done. It's just different for my level of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't do the same hook two, 3 times on a song.
You would
like
just
we would change the second or third hook. You know what I'm saying? Like I would write to a beat, and then I would go back to my producers and be like, okay, I want these breaks right here. I want these breaks right here. I want it to get more crunk right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, or whatever we had to say, because I looked at it like it had to have dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Like it had to get to a rising point to where it sounded even greater, where it started to a certain point where it was slow and it gets faster and just stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so with my songwriting, I think I was ahead of a lot of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was ahead of a lot of people because we would I knew what bridges were. I knew what I knew putting intros, you know what I'm saying? Like if you notice 50 used to have these little intros at the beginning of all his songs. Did you ever pay attention to that? At the beginning he used to have these little sing-along ass intros of all of his songs.
Click, clank and stuff like that. Like
Yeah, little stuff like that. That was just him singing.
It's like
And everybody loved it right away,
Yeah.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
It was catchy.
Like,
It was catchy.
Yeah, it was catchy and it brought you right in. So those are like bridges that you put at the beginning, at the end, in the
get you
middle. You
hooked
know what I'm
into
saying?
it.
Like different stuff just to have changes. But yeah, man, with that songwriting shit,
It's
I was-
important. It's important.
I've had plenty of practice with it. You know what I'm saying? If I died right now, I've told my brother, I was like, in my computer, you could put out 7 albums with a dozen songs
remember you
on it
telling me
right
that.
now.
do they think that like or actually I'm gonna switch it up. In Mexico, do they have like the new music that's coming out? Like the baby just came out with the new album.
Yeah.
Do they
Or-
jam that shit?
Are they up with the new like releases and stuff like that?
Okay, like when you go to the city, you hear stuff like Drake. You hear stuff like
Like worldwide popular?
yeah,
Okay.
you hear the stuff that's like you would expect. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that they're playing in
Club
arenas
stuff.
and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear that kind of stuff, but
Wait, what do they play in clubs and arenas in Mexico? I thought it was honestly just like Mexican music. To be honest,
what are they playing? Clubs?
When I went to the club when I was in,
I have no idea. I've never been
Dolores,
to a club in Mexico.
The only clubs I have that I went to in Dolores was just like they're like bailes, like all the players like corridos and
Yeah.
stuff like that, and they play a little like that's what I was saying. Like it seems like dubstep or techno's a little popular because they got into that for a bit, and but most of it
Okay,
is
so
just
I've been to like sports restaurants. You know what I'm saying?
sports
To where
bars,
like what they're playing is like they'll play like some Bad Bunny, some reggaeton, and then
Yeah.
like some other kind of like pop music. You know what I'm saying? Like
or does
stuff
it
like
tend to
that.
be all in Spanish too? Like
It's in
most
Spanish?
They
Yeah,
don't play
most of
country?
it is in Spanish.
what country is
I don't hear
corridos?
too
is
much
basically
country.
how I
No,
would
no,
see
no,
it.
no.
Wait. That's my fucking me right now. I did
It's
you
like
say countries,
Inception.
corridos, and like you know?
Well, to me,
Because-
that's the
no,
way
no,
I
no,
would
no,
see
no.
it. Like
So country is blues and folk. So folks is a tell, like songs. Corridos is the country version.
Corridos.
Corridos.
Say it with me,
Corridos.
Troy.
Sorry,
roll your R's.
Corridos.
I'm mindful because now I'm thinking about it. Corridos do tell a story about like something.
Yeah,
of a-
it's all cowboy and rancher shit. Like that's all it comes down to. Like
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, well, there's also two totally different corridos. There's the corrido, that's the
Narco-corridos.
regular corrido that's known as the corrido. It talks about usually somebody who started from nothing and made it to something. You know what I'm saying?
Chalino.
Stuff like that. So, okay. Then there's corridos that kind of dip into narco corridos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know,
Like
you
they
have to
talk
t-
about
like,
drug trafficking, you know what I'm saying? People that come up, stuff like that. Then there's the crazy corridos. They're like became a whole culture in the past couple of years too. Not even a couple of years, last probably like 5 to 10 years. But became like just these desmadrosas, like kind of like Inquietos del Norte, like you were talking earlier,
Yeah.
like these I don't
Just
give
wild.
a fuck, like I don't give a fuck corridos, like just talking all kinds of shit. I never asked if we could cuss. I've been cussing like a motherfucker this whole time.
yeah,
I hope so,
I've
because
been cussing like I'm Bernie
He
Mac.
said first.
Oh,
5
already,
seconds.
yeah.
This is a podcast. Like whenever we first started, I was like,
What was the
we
first
say
line?
anything, and I was like, we can say anything and everything. If you don't like it, then just fucking
Go
shut it
fuck
off.
yourself.
Oh yeah, honestly, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, so they had. Then there's that. You know what I'm saying? So there's, and now they have like the like I said, like they have the stoner corridos right now
Okay.
that are real popular. You know what I'm saying? Like they're just talking about a dude that likes to get high and smoke all this weed, smoke the baddest kush and shit like that, and have all the finest bitches. Just talk about it, shit like that.
It's just because like there's a bunch of country songs. And it's just like I drinking problems, and, you know, like I felt this way for a woman or something. I was like, if that
Okay, look, I'm gonna tell. Okay, there's 2 things I can touch on in this conversation with that. I'll tell you one thing. To relate to you. I actually listen to a lot of music that talks about real life shit, right? Like I'm obsessed with that. My brother used to tell me I was depressed. He was like, "Why do you listen to that shit?" But okay, like I always like the real songs on the album. I don't know why. Zero was perfect for me. I was like, man, just make a whole fucking album of these songs.
How do you feel about Kevin Gates?
I don't like him.
Thank you. Me neither.
He's weird. He's
Thank
just
you.
weird to me.
I think he's a
Strange.
rip-off of Zero.
what?
No,
Kevin
no
Gates.
way. But Zero's persona transcends through the music.
Yeah,
Gates
yeah.
He was actually one of the first Houston
Kevin
artists
Gates
that I
does
got.
it to me.
Houston artists that I
I
listened
don't,
to.
I don't mean to cut you off on what you're going on about, but
I don't even remember.
Out of time.
Great,
But,
because I don't remember.
Going off of Zero and just in general, this pertains to because Astroworld just announced they're going on sale again, which we didn't know if it was gonna happen or not, but because Mark and I did go last year and it was fucking amazing. Are you familiar with Astroworld, Travis Scott festival in Houston?
No,
The
I was
Astrodome
familiar
and
with
stuff
the
like that?
album, but not the festival.
He threw a whole festival to bring back the Astrodome and stuff like that. And he paid tribute to DJ Screw and all the OGs, and Texas rap and stuff like that. So he had a whole thing for them too. But going off of that, I've seen your CD collection, and I've asked to have some CDs because he has some rarities. If any of you ever like think that you guys know Texas rap, you don't. Trust me, you don't. I think I know Texas rap, and I'm pretty close, but I don't. This is the man that you.
But see, that has to go. That I'm one of the most honest people in the world, man. So even I can't even take the glory for that. My brother and his friends put me on some very great rap when I was a kid.
Older,
like they didn't let me go. They didn't let me stray away. They like kept me on some shit that I call game. That's what I call it. That's what we used to call it. Like rap music that gave you game. Like yes, some shit was glorifying the streets, but a lot of it was giving you game about the streets. You know what I'm saying? They were telling you, watch out for scandalous friends. Watch out for scandalous broads.
If I can,
friends. You know
give me like 3 top artists that you grew up listening to.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my 3 favorites of all time.
Big
Without if they were great. Texas. Okay, we're talking just Texas.
Just Texas.
Just Texas. Zero, ESG, and Scarface.
All right. What about 3 top artists for
in general?
In general, my 3 all-time favorite are Juvenile, ESG, and Zero, because I have their album collections, and when I put their album collections into my iTunes one time as a kid, their entire discographies I eliminated all the songs I didn't like and only left the songs I did like of all 3 artists, and they had the longest discographies of everybody.
Zero.
Zero has a very
the more jams. You know what I'm saying?
I would say Little Wayne. I used to jam. I fucking love Little Wayne, and Zero went through this phase where he was just like, oh yeah, this one's called Crack. I still remember when Crack came out.
Okay, yeah, that's his bad era though.
Crack.
Yeah, that's when
cocaine.
he started phasing out.
That's when he was just making music for money. You know what I'm saying?
But
he needed to pay bills.
Going back to it, Zero is one of my favorite. I probably listen to almost every song that he's ever put out, and I remember I used to go to like torrents and download his old discography, and it's like,
I think
albums.
I love Zero because of the content.
He has a great discography, but like you said, after the Crack and all that, it kind of started to like taint and just got like. I haven't listened to him since then. Like
Zero just spoke to me, man. Like as a person, he just spoke to me.
He was always real with it. Like he didn't give a fuck.
There was one he wrote with J Dog. I think it was J Dog. Ain't Taking No Losses too, and he wrote that.
However, since we're on the subject, I'm gonna tell you something about Zero though. You know, one thing that does take away about Zero to me though, because I'm a real big ass Zero fan, and I'm real enough to admit it. I don't like the fact that he doesn't write too much of his shit. He writes his raps, every single one of his raps, but a shitload of his hooks are just basically hooks he flipped. But what was crazy is I watched this podcast, and he said basically that's how he started rapping. He sit around chopping crack, and he would listen to songs that were on the radio, and he would just flip them to like hood ass shit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's his whole thing. Like a lot of his music is like oldies. Just take that and make it his own way, like the same way like we were talking about.
I know that's basically what rap has always been. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just that kind of guy that I love originality. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like he's honestly, a rapping version.
You have to love Zero just because he has a voice.
Okay, so do y'all know about ESG?
ESG.
What do y'all know about ESG? Okay, since we're on Texas Legends, what do y'all know about ESG?
I have no idea who he is, to be honest.
If I was ESG, I've known like about him.
I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know who he is.
Now, when we're talking about ESG, we're talking about a pen, bro. A pen that wrote everything. That wrote every hook.
So you
verse,
believe
originated it, wasn't just stealing people's cadences and hooks and flipping them. This man was writing hits, bro.
Iconic verses.
Hits. Swanging and Banging is a hit of his.
Classic. Texas classic.
"Wanna Be a Baller" is the hook. The hook was written by ESG.
By Little Troy.
Yeah, by Little Troy.
I'm big
The
Troy.
hook is
Really?
written by Man is his concept. Man by
Man.
Mick Mo. That's a ESG
Coming
concept.
down,
You
down
think
that
he
man.
won the beef with Little Flip?
I don't think he won the beef because I don't know, whatever. I don't want to talk about that.
No. To be honest, the only Houston artist I know is Zero.
ESG has hits, bro. Like
I know Charlie
ESG
Boy.
had "I'm a player by my paper, man, I'm all about my dough." He wrote that. He wrote so many songs out there. He wrote "Get Your Hands Up, Everybody."
With Slim Thug? With
No,
Yeah,
Slim Thug?
G and
no.
Slim Thug.
We were here 2 weeks ago. We were like, "What's that song called?" It was like, "Get Your Hands." I was like, "Who wrote that?"
Yeah.
And it was just like,
ESG song.
ESG wrote that. Listen
Yeah.
to his raps.
Yeah, he's
Slim
dope.
Thug raps just like him on
Yeah.
the hook. Because he was
Yeah.
good at making those little cadences, like little songs that you would easily just remember.
yeah. I mean, like a hook is a hook. I mean, like as soon as you get someone just like, "I'ma fuck yo bitch, I'ma fuck yo," like I mean, people are gonna draw to it. You know, like they're gonna draw to it. That's honestly what they want, especially if it's in an album.
And that's why my generation of rappers thinks that the new generation rappers are cheating. Because they just made simple shit that was repetitive.
So going off
But
of that,
it
going
does sell. You have to realize.
going
it
off
does
of
sell.
these 2 points, and you and I have talked about this before. What do you think about everything going on with 6ix9ine?
What do I think about it?
Just-
Man, okay, look. Okay, if you want my first thoughts, this is my first thoughts.
I know
I
you-
came
I
back
know-
from
I know-
Mexico.
I know you fully
I spent
support-
all of 2017 in Mexico. I came back at the end of 2017, right when he blew up. Right after Gummo dropped and right before Kuda dropped. I was like, man, badass. I get to watch his whole fucking career of Mexican striving. Boom.
You know
Then
what
he
throws me off
does.
about that? Real quick, cut you off. Something that threw me off today that I thought about today was he's Mexican, but he's from Brooklyn. I had no idea New York had Mexicans.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. They took the wrong bus up there, man.
Yeah, that's how I think why he thinks he's an industry plan. But that's,
They were supposed to
I
come-
didn't think they were-
They were supposed to
tell you
come to
some other shit
Texas,
after
but they were supposed to come to Texas, but they
Look.
never-
But then, then I leave all this year, right? And then boom, I come back. I come back to this motherfucker again being the biggest shit because of this damn trial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, damn.
I think he's still gonna be huge.
I only became a 6ix9ine fan. Look, I'm gonna be 100 with you. When I came back from Mexico, I asked my nephew right on the spot, like the second day I was back. I said, "Who are the rappers you listen to?" He told me somebody else, and he told me 6ix9ine. I said, "Who the hell is 6ix9ine?" He showed me. He told me. I didn't pay attention to him. Then for some reason, I caught an interview of him where they asked him where he was from. He said he was Puerto Rican, and he said he was Mexican. And then he went straight to say where his mama exactly was from, and she was from Puebla. And I just thought it was dope.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Because he was out there too for
Wait, so where's Puebla at? I'm sorry.
it's like the state right above Mexico,
Okay.
the state of Mexico, where Mexico City's at.
Mm.
But yeah, he mentioned that, and I was like, okay, so obviously you don't know your Puerto Rican daddy because you didn't say where your daddy was from in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico, but you did say where your mama was from in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I just started following him, man. I started liking him. I took a liking to his music. I'm not gonna lie. I'll say it.
Yeah. I mean, he has some dope songs like that I would get crunk to. Like it gets you crunk. It gets you crunk.
Yeah.
It just
What did you call him? An industry plant?
industry plan. Yes, I still believe he's an
That's what
industry plan.
everybody's saying. Yeah. That's
But
what
I
everybody's
like going off of that. I still think once this whole trial thing is done and he gets back out, he's gonna be bigger than ever. Nobody's gonna
think
do
so.
Nothing's gonna happen. Like I was into a podcast and they're talking about the era of aggression rap is over. There's no more OGs. Nobody does anything anymore. Like
Yeah.
nobody's willing to risk that anymore. Like
Yeah. That's why
whatever
everybody.
he
That's
did-
why everybody gravitated to him. He had the 50 Cent effect. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
people, even though if you didn't believe he was dangerous, you believed the people around him were dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made him made him so popular. It was the same 50 Cent shit.
All right. Going off of Takashi, we are gonna have to end this. We're coming to the last point where we go to the positive.
I wanna one more.
No, go more.
One more point. I know we ran out of time, but one more point I wanted to get with Keith about, or just ask in general, is like, since you're so often back and forth, or predominantly in Mexico.
Yeah. Honestly, the fuck ass.
Do you keep up with the Austin scene? Do you keep an eye on it? Because I know you're still online. And
No.
so you
I have like 3, 4 that I'm not gonna lie. I even made a post about it when I left to Mexico the first year. I said Operation Unfollow Every Rapper on my timeline was going swell.
Okay.
Because like to me, rap's always been a clown show. Rap, so I don't like
Oh wait, a clown show?
a clown show to me. It's like the person who I am doesn't go with me being a rapper.
Yeah.
The person who I really am. It doesn't go with me being a rapper. You wouldn't believe that I was a rapper if you just met me normally. You'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Because I'm so different than that. I'm not like flashy. I'm not.
You're
I
not.
don't boast. I don't do that kind of
You're not
shit.
the typical
You're,
rapper.
you're one of the artists that came in without an entourage.
This, my friend, is the reason why I can walk around Mexico like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Because that respect goes
Yeah,
so far.
You have a bunch of young artists that come in with entourages, and you know,
I'm old
like,
though. I'm not young.
Hey, OG means just as much. As
No,
new artists.
yeah. I still light their asses up on that mic though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what my youngsters were saying in Mexico. They were like, "What the fuck?" They were like, "You
So-
came alive all of a sudden."
I feel-
So go ahead.
no, I feel like if they were going to Mexico, they get their fucking ass shot or something. I don't know. I didn't even know how it works.
Okay, that's another thing. Let's just say that. Let's say that right here, since we have a platform to say it on. Man, don't believe that shit they be saying about
Everybody's
Mexico,
scared
man.
to go to
They
Mexico.
sensationalize the shit out of that shit. I'm from Michoacan. Look up Michoacan, where I'm from. It's
It
one of
really
the worst
is-
places
It
you
really
could go to in Mexico. And Michoacan, even in Michoacan where you go, it's chill, man. If you're just the general public, chill.
It's
Go
really
do your
only if you're-
business.
if
go
you're-
about your business.
If you're affiliated with it, it's really the only time you ever have
The people that are getting fucked over are the people that are involved in that shit,
Yeah.
man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like any corner of the world that you would go to, just keep your fucking
But-
nose to yourself. Don't go in looking for shit,
Don't
looking
go
for
doing the
trouble.
most.
Just you
Enjoy
know what I'm
yourself.
saying? Go about your business. Visit your family. Go travel. Take your pictures in the nice places that you've seen on calendars and shit. You know what I'm saying?
But going back, well, forget my point. Never mind. But just we're gonna go on to our last segment, which fucking Mark for some odd reason. But going off of that, I did want to dedicate our last segment, which I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but we have a segment where at the end of it we each point out something positive that's going on in our life, week,
Yep.
day, whatever. And I want to dedicate this segment to, and I failed to do that in the past 2 episodes. Which I'm
Oh
sorry,
yeah.
to Daniel Johnson. Are you familiar with Daniel Johnson?
No.
He's
Yeah.
the artist that created the Hi, how are you,
how are
Frog?
you?
And he was in a band, like very iconic person in Austin, just very like, I guess, just a positive.
No, no.
person,
So
you know?
it was a part of the crest. The person, if you haven't seen that frog that says "How are you," the artist that did that actually
He passed
died
away 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, and
I want to dedicate this segment to it, considering it's a
he's an
positive moment.
Austin iconic. He's a legend in Austin. He's an Austinite, and for him, being just making that graphic is like hi, how are you? To people who are just coming in that don't know anything about Austin, it's phenomenal. And
Yeah, starting off with you, Keith, is there anything positive you want to share?
Hold on, y'all were positive. Y'all were kind of sad.
No, we haven't started. We haven't started. I want to dedicate it to the Don't worry, like 2 episodes ago, Troy started crying. So you could.
Bad Bunny or what? You ain't seen the interview with where it's Residente and Bad Bunny, and he makes Bad Bunny cry.
Oh, after the protest or what?
Nah, there's an interview where they're just chilling, and he tells Bad Bunny that he respects him, that he respects his
Oh, he
skill
started
and all
crying?
that. Like he starts crying.
honestly, me and Mark are gonna take the last shot, but I mean, anything positive.
Okay, and something positive, man. Okay, I'm gonna give y'all something positive, man. Shout out to my wife, man. She's been holding it down at our house back in Mexico, taking care
said
of it.
wife.
She's been
He said
sending me
wife.
pictures. We got a shitload of guayabas growing out of our guayaba tree in our patio. I got a shitload of guayabas to come home to, man.
That's a dream.
That's something positive.
Well, I'm gonna go to Mexico and just get married out there because y'all are not fulfilling what I'm hoping for here.
People in the United States are bitter, yo. Like men and women, they're both like they're bitter as fuck. Like if you make it over 30 single, you're bitter as fuck. Like not saying that you're bitter, you made it there because you're bitter. I'm just saying it just grows on you. Like People get this
mentality.
fuck men, fuck women mentality and shit. Like, and down there, it's just like a little different, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Wait,
Like
so
that whole-
it's not like sexist down there?
Huh?
Like, you know, like the woman has to do everything.
Is it hard to have sex a lot out there?
Is it what?
Hard to have like just sleep around out there, considering the culture.
No, people will find a fucking way. They're fucking humans, yo.
I'm going back
To
to
find
Mexico.
a way. But okay, yes, it's okay. I'm gonna tell you something. Like in Mexico, nobody has a house to themselves. Keith Corona has a house to himself. He goes to Mexico. It's rare, you know what I'm saying? So yes, women do fall a little easier because of that fact. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm being sexist like a motherfucker. I'm sorry, but
It's not sexist here. I mean, it's sexist here, but not in Mexico. If it was for something else, I'm sorry. I'm being the truth.
I technically,
but man, yeah, I don't know. Okay, like to round it all up and put it in a nutshell, I feel like love still exists in Mexico. And I feel like here people look at each other's bank accounts before they consider
yeah.
falling in love.
So
In Mexico, that shit doesn't
won't
matter.
care. They won't care about my credit score in Mexico.
In Mexico, that shit doesn't matter, bro. Like I've had to beg my girl to try to
Right.
come to the United States.
It's not
So where everybody would think my woman was just looking for a meal ticket, like I
Yeah.
could get her papers, you know what I'm saying, and I could
Yeah.
bring her over here. I've had to beg her because she's like, I don't fucking know anybody there. Why the fuck do I want to go there?
Yeah.
We're here.
I can see how that's.
Shouts out to.
No, let's take this.
I don't
Let's
got no more.
call this the Corona shot. Take a drink of that because Troy never touched it, even though I got it for him. But si te gusta tibia, tómatela. We never spoke Spanish here.
Yeah, verga.
Let's take our last shot. I want to call it the Corona shot.
Keith Corona shot.
The Corona shot. That is a fucking badass last name.
Where's the trash can?
I'm glad I don't have your name on this beer bottle because then I'd have your last name on me. You can go because I'm still.
All right, so the positive note that I'm going to say is that we honestly got new headphones. I bought
Courtesy of Troy.
What?
I am
First one to try that pair.
If you don't think that this shit's going to get better, trust me, it's going to get better.
Moving on up.
New
Even if we
camera,
lose followers.
new headphones, new fucking mics so that they don't have to fucking listen to themselves on some shitty ass mic. No, we're going to go ballistic
Above and beyond.
if I don't get too drunk.
I swear to God, next episode we're recording at a random different location. I'm predicting this right now.
He's predicting it.
I'm calling it right now. Next episode, we're not recording here at this house. We're moving on up in the world.
Yo, man, I just want to shout out AR17,
Shout
Shout out anybody.
El Tres,
En español.
LMC. I want to shout out El Pinocho,
Fiero.
El Yovas, you know what I'm
Fiero.
saying?
Fiero.
Underground, you know what I'm saying? All my homies I worked out there with, you know what I'm saying? That's 100.
Shit. Pura clica shit.
All right, so we are going to have to end the podcast.
No, I didn't get my positive note.
You didn't?
No,
Why'd
you-
you go to me?
Because I couldn't think of one yet.
All right, go, Mario. Say your positive.
God damn.
I'm sorry. I
The
thought
show's
you-
ending without me. God. Next episode, I'm going to be booted off my own show. I don't know. No.
Okay, come on.
Well, I had to think so fast. I forgot to think about it. We are basically coming into the season of everybody's busy, everybody's birthday, everybody's holiday, whether here or in Mexico. So I am grateful that we all have people to look forward to enjoy these times with, you know. Albeit I'm going to be super extremely busy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ain't going to hear from me unless this is the podcast, until like January. But yeah, good times.
I want
I
everyone.
know it's depression season too. So any of y'all that I know I've dealt with it before, but if anybody ever deals with depression or seasonal depression, hit my line, hit my DM, hit his DM, hit anybody up,
Don't hit my DMs.
hit mine or blow Mark up because he didn't. Was not
Don't
here
blow
to
him up
speak
either, unless you're gay.
No, I'm talking about if you're ever like feeling a little sad because it's the seasons.
Oh yeah.
Come join us for Thanksgiving. Come join us for Christmas. Come join us for any Christmas, birthday party, anything. Hey, you're never alone. Shout out you, okay?
Shout out to you.
Kawasaki.
I actually want to shout out Mario because this stuff would never be without him. So
Even though I was late as fuck today.
Yeah,
I was late as fuck today.
we are gonna have to end the podcast. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Troy.
My woman's already.
I'm
Kicking
Mario
my
from
ass
the
in the
south
phone.
side.
And you're
What? Oh, I'm live for 78745.
What's your name?
Keith
I'm
Corona.
Keith Corona,
Está
man.
pedo ya lo atrás.
And this is the podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. And that's it.
Fracasé todo lo que he intentado, ya nadie ha quedado a mi lado. Esperaba un futuro exitoso, no llegar a viejo siendo un fracasado. Del sueño no me he despertado, quizá la familia la han enfado. Años y años sin ver resultados de todo lo que he grabado. No he ahorrado ni un puto centavo, no tengo ni casa ni carro. Siempre el toque y el trago fue lo primero, yo sé que la cago. Antes de camino me he llevado la chingada por andar como vago. Medianoche en la calle rodeado de puro loco que andan drogado. Ya nadie ha quedado a mi lado, ni los que juraron ser como hermanos. Lo acepto, soy un ser humano, tuve que ver la derrota en mis manos. Tarde o temprano, no ando llorando que nada me gano. No es nada extraño, lo que más amo siempre me hace más daño. Caí de rodillas, frente de todo el mundo y recuerdo esos días. Nadie me conocía, todos dieron la espalda, yo no lo creía. Y con esa astilla en las costillas dormía noches bien frías. Hay dolores de que no te alivias, ni tragándote 1,000,000 de pastillas. Cualquiera también se desvía en el camino sin mapa y sin guía. No traten de serme a la orilla, soy uno de muchos y no sabía.
Sigo fallando, sigo cayendo, entro un laberinto y salidas no encuentro. No sé qué siento, parezco un muerto. No honré a mi padre y ahora está muerto. Bajo un efecto que me mata lento y al paso del tiempo me hace más violento. Madre, lo siento por vivir la vida cayendo al infierno. No hay sentimientos, le cuento al cuaderno. Tengo la piel fría como en el invierno. Me siento enfermo, me siento extraño. No soy el mismo que era en el antaño. A la gente que amo la daño, a la gente que amo la daño. Me siento enfermo, me siento extraño. No soy el mismo que era en el antaño. Y ya no sé qué hacer, todo se torna mal. Y yo lo ocasioné por nunca escuchar la voz de